Hello, hello. Good evening. This is Matt, Fighting News. Steve's on the line.
What's up? What's up?
How's everyone doing tonight? We got a good show coming at you. We're going to have Everton Oliveira coming on in a minute. He's a strength and conditioning coach at American Top Team down in Coconut Creek. He's worked with a lot of famous athletes in the UFC, Bellator, et cetera, et cetera. Hello, sir.
Hey.
Hello
Hey,
there.
how you doing, Coach?
How are
There
you
he
guys?
is.
Let me
We're
grab my
doing
phone.
okay.
How's everything?
Yeah, everything's great, man. We're just hanging out here. We're talking about UFC 249 being on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Coach?
Man, it's complicated. They want to have the show going on. My job is trying to let the fighters as better as we can to be in the competition, and it is what it is. It's gonna be on, and we're ready to go.
Exactly. So you have a couple of your people on the card there, huh?
Yes, we have. So
Okay. Why don't you tell us about that? Who do you have from American Top Team?
we have actually on this show we have Greg Hardy, we have Alexei Olenik, and we have Charles Rosa. I have pretty sure only them. I don't remember exactly because I work directly with Alexei.
Okay.
So I don't work directly with Charles and Greg, but I know they are on the card.
Are you cornering
Right.
him in Jacksonville?
No, actually not, because we have other fighters competing in the next few shows. So we have UFC in May 13, UFC May 16, and May 23rd, I
Right.
think. So I
Wow.
have
So-
few other guys competing also, and we have the June shows as well. So it's on. So we need to keep working.
Are they all going to be?
Maybe I will be there, but I will just go on Saturday and back on Sunday probably.
Yeah.
Right. Now, are all the shows going to be up there in Jacksonville, or are they going to be in other venues?
Man, I don't know exactly. They're talking about all the May shows will be in Florida, but I don't have this answer, so I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on, right? So we don't know exactly. We just know that they need to be ready for the shows, and
Right. Exactly. So you guys are hard at work down there still.
yeah, we need to follow the rules, right? So if they will fight, we have to make it happen.
Are you going to the gym every day and training?
Not every day because we have the whole schedule. So, like, I work with the fighters 3 times a week.
Not the regular classes that they usually have.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Just few guys that they have fight coming in,
Right.
and the partners and the training partners and us. So we are very restrict right now, but we are glad that nothing happened and we're still able to keep the work, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. So you've worked with a ton of UFC fighters and Bellator fighters. Tell us about how did you get started in this strength and conditioning coaching? How did you get started?
Yeah, like I'm in ATT since 2012, so it's been like 8 years already. I came here just to help some friends. They were working on a project to do a American top team in a different area, like was a franchising.
Yeah.
So I came here to help them. I used to have my gym in Brazil. So, and when we were here, we were working around, and I started to work with Antonio Silva Bigfoot for his fight against Alistair Overeem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, and after that fight, a lot of things changed. I started to work with Thiago Alves too, Junior Dos Santos, Glover Teixeira. So a lot of I started to work with a lot of different fighters in that time, and here I am since that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's been a long journey.
Right, and these are all top tier people. You know, these are all people that made it big in the UFC.
Yeah.
So, how do you? Because I know ATT is a huge facility there. How do you choose who you work with, or do they choose you, or how does that process work?
No, they are able to choose. We have a lot of coaches there. So normally with one fighter, it's been around like 4 or 5 coaches working together. So, but as a strength conditioning coach, we have 2 professionals, me and Fielderu. So the fighters can choose who they want to train. Back at the time, we used to work with another strength conditioning coach. His name is Stefan Diaz. He's teaching in a Kaiser University in Orlando. So we used to work together in that time. We are really good friends. So yeah, right now they are able to choose who they want to work with it, and they have more synergize. They like the way that we are working. So yeah.
Okay, all right. And out of all these men or women, all right, who is some of your favorites to work with?
Man,
Or who's known? Let me rephrase that
That's like
because I don't
saying,
want.
who's your favorite child?
Yeah, you know, who puts in the hardest work? You know, I know as a coach, you must like the people that put in the hardest work. Who are the guys in there that really, or women that put in the hardest work?
man, like I have to say, all of them, I give them my best. So since 2012, I have an amazing memories back there. So I was able to work with Thiago Santos Marreta since his first fight in the UFC. I was able to work and with Amanda Nunes since she came to the ATT. So it's amazing when we look back and see how they improve and where they are right now. I'm glad that be part of like third 12 title shots, UFC title shots. With the first one was Antonio Silva against Cain Velasquez. The second one was Valerie Laterno against Joanna. The third one was Glover Teixeira against John Jones. And then Junior Dos Santos against Stipe. Then then Amanda against Misha and all her title fights, and Thiago against John Jones. So they are. I have great memories from them, but I can't deny all the other fighters, because I respect their journey a lot. So I give my best even to the amateurs that I've been working around. I have no favorites actually. I just trying to separate, and I understand that. Example, Amanda's fight, it's important, but I can't turn my back to the amateur guy who is important too. So I trying to work around It's not easy, but worth it.
Yeah, was Amanda's belt the first belt?
Yeah.
Wow. So how'd that feel?
This is back there. This
Oh,
here is UFC 200.
Yeah.
yeah, Steve, see if you can enlarge it. Enlarge him. See if you can get a close up on that. You can solo him. There you go.
Here.
Yeah, now we can see it better.
Yeah.
UFC 200, right?
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's like I said, it's amazing to look at back and see all the fights and the journey. I like to count the fights and always I'm updating my numbers here. So it's amazing to look at back and see more than 250 fights, more than 70 athletes since 2012. Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing feeling.
Yeah,
we've been following
that's crazy.
Amanda for a long time, even back before American Top Team, when she was training here in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to see her.
And I have to say, it's a teamwork, right? So at the end of the day, we are connect all the time. So yeah, it's amazing to be around the best team in the world.
And then you got
Absolutely.
your second belt with Johanna?
No, I don't work with Joanna.
No, you don't work with
No, I don't work with Joanna. No, yeah,
So you got one belt.
yeah, in UFC, actually
Wow. Two
Yeah.
of Amanda's.
Yeah, two of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
We went to American Top Team, and when you walk in, there's a big display case of all these belts. It's amazing how many, top tier athletes work out there.
Yeah, you guys asked about the memories, right? So
Yeah.
I have one. 2018 was an amazing year because we had Amanda's fighting against Chris Cyborg was December 29, and December 31st, I had Nathan Schultz fighting for the PFL title, and Felipe Lins fought for the PFL title as well.
Wow.
So, and all of them won. So I was like going crazy because it's amazing to see them winning. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's so at any one time, like let's just say, even for the month of May, you probably have at least one fighter each weekend, or for all of those three shows,
Yeah,
and maybe even more than one.
More.
Yeah,
more.
so that seems like it would be a tremendous amount to just to keep up with.
Yeah,
No?
I normally I say that we go crazy around because it's individual sport, it's the individual training program, but at the end of the day we have more than 25-30 guys working around at the same time, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
But like I said, work. So yeah, it's good.
I know, and it's great, especially if it's there's belts on the line, there's titles, and you're like like you said before, like Amanda's fight might be important, but then you have an amateur that's got an important fight. You might have another guy in the UFC that's on his way up, and you have to divide your time among them.
Yeah,
and I'm sure.
And I never forget that at the end of the day, we are working together to through their dreams. So, like I said, the amateur fighter, he wants to get into the big show. So we need to understand that and respect that and give the right attention for that. So okay, I understand that. Like I said, Amanda's in a different level. Yeah, it is. But at the same time,
Right.
I try to give my best for the amateur guy because I know he can get there too in some point. And I will be so proud to be around of the whole journey, right? So, yeah, it's amazing to be part of this and to be able to work with them.
Right. So back in 2018, you mentioned when Amanda fought Chris Cyborg. So in 2018, Amanda was, now she's considered the greatest woman fighter of all time. But in 2018, there was, was she favored to beat Chris Cyborg at that time? Or there were kind of mixed feelings, if I remember, because Cyborg was considered, so tough and so strong and all that.
Back at that time, a lot of people, MMA professionals, they were talking about Chris Cyborg was supposed to be the best one, right? And we respect that, the whole Cyborg history, but we knew Amanda was on a different level too. So when she decided to accept the fight, we knew it would be tough, but inside the team, we were so sure about her performance and about her potential. So I can say that a lot of people were doubting, but we don't. We always believe that she would be able to win that fight. I have to tell you, I wasn't expecting that way,
right?
But I was 100% confident that she would leave the cage as a champion. But we used to talk about it when Amanda connected her power, everybody gonna feel and gonna go down. So we knew that.
Yeah.
It was about the right time, the right opportunity for that power come in, and what happened was amazing.
She does have tremendous power, that's for sure.
Yeah, and honest, I have my personal opinion for sure. I work with her, and I know what she's capable to do it. But I knew inside of me, when she connect one punch, Cyborg would react completely different. She would feel that power, and that she never felt before. She never got punched with that power. And
absolutely.
Honest, this is what happened in that day. Everybody watched it, right? So
yeah,
absolutely. That was a real that was a turning point, I think, for both of their careers. I think it was the downfall of Cyborg, and I think most people at that time started saying, well, maybe Amanda is the best.
I'm not saying that Cyborg wasn't dangerous and one of the best in the world. No.
Oh, she definitely was, without a doubt, at that time. Yeah.
But was an amazing moment, and back to Ronda Rousey fight, right? I remember I was watching some show, and Misha Tate was in the show, and she said they asked what was her opinion about Amanda's power, and she said, "Listen, I never got punched so hard as Amanda did."
Really?
So when Amanda connect the punch in Ronda, things gonna change and happen the way that she said. And the same thing happened with Cyborg. So we know how powerful she is, and she's able to connect everything with the technique, the timing, the distance, everything. So this is something that's completely unique on her.
Well, you're doing something right, because I've seen her shoulders get a lot bigger from her first fight to her, her third fight. She looks really, really much stronger than she did in her first fight. She looks a lot stronger. So you're doing something right over there.
What I understand as a professional,
yeah.
First of all, like I said before, it's a teamwork. So we are talking about the best strategy and the best way to work around the fighter, right?
Yeah.
So for each fight, we have some special strategy. But in my background, in my point, I know I need to give my best to them. I need to create the best strategy I have as a strength conditioning coach to build them. So what I think is I don't want to see the fighter that I work punching 200 times and not hurting the other fighter. I prefer to the fighter give 10 punches and knock somebody out, then win by decision giving 200 punches. So this is the way that I like to think.
Yeah.
And for that, I need to understand for sure about physiology, sports training methods and everything. But in that case, I knew we need to increase her strength and then her power. So I always try to think about what I can build to the fighter, get there, doing their best performance. So Amanda was super strong.
Yeah.
She is actually. And that time she was like an amazing camp, like no injuries, everything was perfect. Because at the end of the day, it's a contact sport, so the injuries goes around all the time. So they can hurt themselves doing anything, like any practice. They can hurt themselves. So it's kind of like tricky. We need to organize all the schedule, and we need to control everything. And yeah, it's been working.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of that.
Hey, Everton. I'm Mike. I know we haven't met yet, so it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
On that subject of Amanda, I know that fight specifically, it wasn't just so much just the power, but that accuracy, that perfect placement that she has. She really has. She's in tune with that reach. So who is it that works with you guys on that aspect of her game?
So, like I said, we have many coaches around. So I'm responsible for the strength conditioning, and we have the head coach, which is Conan Silveira, and we have the jiu-jitsu coach, which is Marcos Parrupinha. We have the striking coaches, so Catel Cubis, Luciano Macarrão, Anderson, Gabriel. So we have the wrestling team, Stevie Mako, Mike Brown, King Mo. So we have many martial arts coaches that work specifically for that strategy. So they decide the way that they will work on a specific strategy for each fight. So example, for a grappling match, it's one strategy. For a striking match, it's another strategy. So everything changed for each opponent. So back at that time, she was working with Conan and all the striking coaches, and they built the right strategy with the timing, the technique, and everything. She has good reach advantage, and like you said, the accuracy, it was on point. She was like perfect, and she's improving as a professional each time, not only like technically, physically, but mentally too. So she became like an amazing fighter, and we can call her as a best female fighters all the time.
The GOAT.
Absolutely. So, like when she faced Holly Holm, did you feel a big need to change up strategy with her, knowing Holly's a big striker, and especially with her background as a kickboxer?
Amanda, she knows how good she can match with the fighters. She can adapt herself like pretty quickly inside the cage. But like I said, she's been working like this like for a while. So, but inside, she wants to prove sometimes herself. So she decided to exchange the striking strategies against Holm. And all the fighters who gonna fight against Amanda, they know how powerful she is. So they need to be careful on this. So the Holly Holm fight, I was there. I was watching around the cage. So Holly was kind of different. We were expecting a different approach, but she was like more waiting and trying to find the distance and everything. And for sure, Amanda was giving her a hard time, and Amanda just decided to go over the strategy, and she was like using her technique, and she felt the moment, and she threw the kick, and that's
Bam.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
Holly Holm has had such a long career.
And we are talking about a multiple boxing champion. She's an expert in striking. So that's something we look back and we are so proud of her, because she's been fighting against the former champions. And if you look at back, all the fights didn't finish in 5 minutes.
Right.
Oh, I know. And that was that was UFC. Was it 230, 239, right?
239, I think.
Yeah, and then you had Thiago fighting
against John
Jones. Right.
That day was an amazing experience, because for the first time in my life as a strength conditioning coach, I had two guys fighting for the title back to back, like.
Right.
So, it was one right after the other. Her fight and then his fight. Yeah.
Yes. Was an amazing energy.
What do you do in that case? Do you just hang out by the cage, or do you go back in the locker in between fights, or what?
Honest, I was beside the cage, and my wish was go back to the locker room and celebrate with Amanda, but at the same time, Thiago was coming, so I decided to stay with Thiago and let's celebrate after. Right. So I was on a cage side waiting for Thiago, and man, it was an amazing experience there. I have to tell you, Thiago. If we look at back and think about, we are talking about one of the best guys in the history, which is John Jones, and Thiago got hurt in the beginning of the second round, I think. She injured pretty bad, his knee.
Yeah.
And he fought 5 rounds, and one of the judges gave him the victory. So if we look at a positive side, was an amazing performance, and I have pretty sure if Thiago didn't injure himself, the result will be way different.
Yeah.
Thiago hits like a truck.
Yeah, he took the champ to 5 rounds. Not too many people do that.
And he wasn't able to move properly. He was feeling pretty he had no balance to kick as hard as he could. He wasn't able to move forward properly. He did an amazing. I was so proud of him.
Wow.
So Everton, I know we spoke with Shorty Torres not too long ago, and I know he stays out there in the dorms at ATT, and so he's saying he's doing like 3 trainings a day over there. And obviously, there's a lot of limitation with other fighters at other gyms that just can't get out to the gyms or are limited. You think that's going to allow those guys that stay at the dorms at ATT? You think they're going to have that unfair advantage in these fights coming up?
I think so, because I don't know exactly what's going on with the other teams, but we know we've been working hard. So I believe we are kind of one step ahead when we talk about, because we are able to keep the schedule even if some changes happen. We are able to keep the schedule, right? So the guys who has fight coming in, they are training kind of like pretty good.
So you have family here with you?
No, actually not. My family is in Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go as many times as I can to Brazil. It's not that long. It's 8 hours flight. So I live here at night, and in the morning I'm there. But like it's too many fighters, and I'm not working only there. So I work with professional race car drivers too. I do my my privates around. So sometimes it's hard to be away for long. But sometimes I go there on Thursday night and back on Monday just to visit my families, and it's been working.
So you got an exciting life. Professional race car drivers,
Yeah, like
UFC.
it's amazing to be around two individual sports,
Yeah.
and I trying to kind of connect them because their mindset it's so unique. They are very competitive, they are very dedicated and committed with their goals, and I like to 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 connect them because, like I said, it's two individual sports with a lot of risk, a lot of adrenaline, and they learn from each other.
Yeah.
It's nice. I train some of them at the ATT, so they hang out around. So yeah, it's nice.
Now, which do we know any of these race car drivers you train?
I used to work with three IndyCar drivers. The Verizon Indy Series.
Mm-hmm.
With the endurance like a Daytona 24.
Uh-huh.
I used to work with many go-kart drivers, F4 in Europe, F4 here in US, US 2000. On an Indy program, they have Road to Indy, which is the upcoming division. So the young drivers, they are able to grow on the system and get to the main category. So it's nice. Like
Yeah.
I have the youngest one. I started to work with him. He was 7 years old. He was actually the number one in US, and right now he's living in Italy, joining the European team. I have one of them also. He's competing in a Ferrari school in F4 in Italy too. So yeah, it's amazing because it's completely different strategies, but at the same time, they all with the same mindset, looking for the win, looking for something unique.
Right.
I kind of
Right. So you're
trying to
training
adapt to myself.
you're training a 7-year-old a go-kart driver, right?
Yeah.
Racing go-karts,
Yeah.
and he's got to build up endurance in his arms, correct?
Actually, not only his arms, his neck too. So yeah, we need to.
And the neck.
Yeah, because like on the go-karts, they have no seat belt. They have to hold the speed, and sometimes the speed can go over 50, 60 miles an hour, and they go all in. So actually, I was kind of one of the only one who was working with the young drivers. I used to travel with them to join the races, and I was with him in the Worlds, and the Worlds was in Brazil. It was a funny story because his mindset is so unique. He came to me and he said, like, "Coach, you need to start to teach me in Portuguese." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Because I will win the nationals and I will earn the world's place, because just the champion was able to go for the world championship." So he came to me and he said, I will win the nationals, and you have to go to Brazil with me because the worlds will be in Brazil. So I said to him, and that time I said to him, "Okay, we have a deal. Do your part and I will do my part, and I will be with you in Brazil." So He was competing
Nice.
on Sunday, so his dad called me and said like, "Hey man, deal's the deal. So you're going to Brazil with us because he just won the championship." So I
Wow.
said like, "I'm in.
That's
Let's do
awesome.
it."
And do you go to
Yeah,
these events as well? The racing? Do you go?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I actually, if you guys don't mind, I have something I
Yeah,
can
let's
show
see.
to you guys.
Let's see.
Wait a second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you got?
All right, boys. I'm gonna go catch some dinner. I didn't want to break up what he was saying, but I'm take off. So.
All right. Nice
You
talking
guys-
to you.
Mike, it was good seeing you. Be good.
Hey,
Hey.
so here's the thing. This is something, like I said, this is something for me. It's so amazing and like this frames
Memorabilia.
over there. It's amazing. So this is something that he gave to me.
Yeah. Enlarge it, Steve.
You guys are
Steve,
able to
enlarge
see?
it. Make them
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah, there we go.
So this is the ticket for the Worlds.
Wow.
Oops.
Nice.
So and you guys can see, like, this is
Yeah, wrote the Max Challenge.
yeah. So this was the world, and he gave to me. So yeah, this is like a belt for me, like a UFC belt, and
Yeah.
it's amazing opportunity to be around many different professional athletes. Yeah.
Do you ever get in the go-kart? You ever
Yeah.
drive?
Yeah.
They're fun, aren't they?
Yeah. One day we went to indoor go-karts, and I invited the fighters too. So it was a funny moment because the fighters joined us, and everybody was having fun.
Yeah. Did you go to that the Extreme Act where they have the Titan FC?
No, we went to the K1 in Hollywood.
K1.
Okay.
I think it's a K1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
the fighters invite them to do a MMA training, and they said like, no, we can't get hurt. But all the drivers that I work, they like to do boxing meets on their workouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't? You know.
Yeah.
It's great exercise, great cardio, it's great stress relief.
Yeah.
They also have the beach raceway up there where they have you do the go-kart racing. It's outside. The track is huge.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Like for 2 times I went to, no, actually 1 time I went to Indy 500 in Indianapolis, which is one of the biggest races around the world. Was more than 350,000 people on a track. Was an amazing experience.
Yeah. How long what is the Indy 500? How long does that race take?
Takes more than 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
And they are driving like around 2:30 in the oval.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I can imagine, man, because if those cars are anything like the go-karts, because there's no power steering on those things. So every time you're tugging on the wheel, every time you go around a turn.
Yeah.
So that's got to take a tremendous amount of endurance. People don't realize that.
People don't realize how hard they work out. Sometimes people come to me and say, like, I didn't know race car drivers should work out. And I said, man, they are super strong because they have to support the G-forces around their bodies, all the forces that the car brings to their bodies, they need to support for many, many hours.
Yeah.
And it's very stressful to their mind and to their body.
Absolutely. Well, that's why boxing historically was big in the Navy, the fighter pilots. Huge. If you were in the Navy, that's what you did. You did boxing workouts. They taught it. I think they dropped the program like around, I don't know, maybe the 1970s or 80s or whatever. Because, they didn't want people getting hurt or whatever.
They can't get hurt because their hands is their like main part of their job, so they can't get hurt.
Yeah, but it was big.
So
all right,
so at AT&T, I got a question for you. So at AT&T, if you had to pick your
no, AT&T is a phone company, Steve.
ATT, I said.
All right.
If you had to pick 3 top people, bad asses at American Top Team, you're walking down an alley, you got to take 3 people with you from American Top Team.
Oh,
at
man.
Coconut Creek, who would you want to take?
It's so hard to choose just 3. There's so many badass out there. There are many guys, all of them. Like,
Yeah.
I have to tell you, it's hard to pick up just 3 because there's so many tough guys out there.
Okay, so here's a different question. So you're having a dinner party at your house.
Okay.
And you can invite 3 people from ATT. Who do you invite?
I would be in trouble to choose just 3.
Okay, you're having a party. Who you inviting? When this coronavirus is all over, party at your house. Who are you inviting?
For sure, I have Amanda. I have Nathan Schultz, Felipe Lins, Adriano Moraes, Marlon Moraes, Renato Moicano. Man, it's many guys.
Good party.
Yeah. The coaches too. You know, the whole staff too. Like Conan, Cattell, Pahumpa, Macarrão, Anderson, Steve Mako, Mike Brown. We also so connect, not only with the fighters but with the team, and we are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 1 MMA school around.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I noticed you didn't put any of the heavyweights in there on your guest list, did you? The big guys.
Actually, I put Felipe Lins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the heavyweight guys. Yeah, I have many of them too. One funny guy and super nice is Alexei Olenik, the Russian guy. He's super funny. He's so nice.
Yeah. We should get him on the show then too. You know.
Yeah, sure. He's funny. He's going to fight against the former champion Fabricio Verdun on May 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on the May 9th card too?
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
He's the prelim.
Yeah. Actually, today I saw something about they supposed to fight in prelims.
Yeah.
The prelims,
There's many good guys there. There are 2 titles in a row. So yeah.
Yeah, and all these guys, you know, they haven't fought in a few months, and they're just looking to rip someone's head off. You know, it's like, you know, I'm ready to rip my family's head off. You know, everyone's driving each other crazy. You know, this is going to be a historic event. It's going to be the first sporting event, you know, coming back from Corona. It's the first sporting event that they're going to be on TV, and you know, it's going to be a historic event. You know, and they stacked the card. These are all great fights. You know, it's going to be an exciting night for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this show. It's going to be nice. I can't wait to watch Ferguson and Gagey. I think will be super interesting fight.
Who do you think's going to win?
We were talking about that before you got on. We were talking about that. 2 of the craziest guys, I think, in the UFC now, and I think that's it. To me, it's a better matchup than Khabib versus Ferguson. You know, it's just going to be a more entertaining fight for sure.
I agree. And honest, we used to talk about this because we also a huge fan of the sport, right? So, man, Gage is so tough. Ferguson is so tough. So it's gonna be. I believe it's gonna be explosive fight.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They will
And,
go over each other.
Yeah, neither of them ever back down. Gaethje just comes forward and comes forward and comes forward, and Ferguson does the same.
And Gage has his wrestling background. We are not.
He does, but he
doesn't use it.
never uses it.
Yeah.
You forget about that.
Which is weird to understand, but he does.
Right. He doesn't want the fight to be boring. He wants the punches. Stand up and punch. Let's go.
This is something I would love to watch him and Khabib.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Khabib will definitely fight the winner of this one. I would think, unless Dana White really wants to make that Khabib versus Ferguson fight, because the fans really wanted that,
Yeah. Sure.
But Gaethje, we've been watching him when he used to fight in the World Series of Fighting down here with Marlon Moraes, also who you mentioned before.
Yeah.
Both of those guys were super tough back then.
I remember that show. We used to have Jessica as a champion.
Yeah, Jessica.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was.
And she doesn't look like a fighter, when she's until she gets in that ring,
Yeah, she was great, in that. But you can tell both of those guys, Moraes and Gaethje, were going to move up into the UFC. Even back then, it was obvious they were two stars of that show.
Yeah.
Remember Gaethje fought that Luis Palomino?
Yeah.
Remember that fight?
It was crazy fight.
Yeah, for a local show like that, that was crazy. They put on some good shows for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I miss those guys.
It was a good promotion.
So who are you taking? Who are you taking in the Gaethje Ferguson?
I'm going with Gaethje.
You got Gaethje?
Yeah. If he plays the right strategy and is being smart out there, I go with him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but if Gaethje went like this most of the time, I'd like it better because most of the time his hands are down, and a good striker picks him apart, and I don't like seeing him get hit so many times.
Yeah, this is something. It's not healthy for him.
Yeah,
we know that, but he likes to do it.
Yeah,
he likes getting hit.
Yeah.
I know. I remember I was saying that about him like years ago. I'm like, this guy can't go through his career fighting this way. Yeah.
What about
Ferguson
Rosa
is also
Mitchell?
a crazy striker.
What about Rosa Mitchell?
Rose.
Yeah,
sure.
Rosa.
Yeah, ATT.
Charles Rosa.
Yeah, he's ready to rip someone's head off. He's like, I can't. First of all, he hasn't been in the ring.
Boston Strangler.
Yeah. For some, he had
That's a great name, man.
Yeah. So he's excited. He's ready to rip someone's head off.
Yeah, Greggy Hardy too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hardy, the NFL draft was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see everything
come back
going
to normal.
back to normal. It's been stressful and to everyone, but I'm glad that we are able to keep moving forward and let's see what happens.
Without a doubt, and we definitely appreciate you coming on here and talking with us and reliving some old memories from the good old days.
Yeah.
And we're definitely looking forward to that May card for sure. And we'll be rooting for the ATT guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, do you know like we always say that we are hunting for victories, you know, like doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where, we are looking for numbers, for victory, like winner circle.
Yeah, well, you got a great team down there for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
That's the most
great
impressive gym
coaching.
I've ever been to.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
If you sometimes you walk there and you look around, you see like world champions, gold medalists, Olympic medalists, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
UFC champions, PFL champions, ONE FC champions, champions all over. It's nice.
Yeah, yep, it's definitely a good place to train. I mean, it's incredible. It's got to be incredible for the people that dorm there, also that live there.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, what could be better than that for a fighter?
yeah,
Um,
sure.
yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience out there? Anything else you got going on, or?
And I'm just happy to sharing some numbers, some memories, some experience, uh, and yeah, it's been amazing to to work with so many brilliant talents, and I'm so thankful for for the opportunity that ATT gave to me, and from Dan Lambert, Conan, Pahumpa, like I said, all the coaches, all the fighters, because the relationship in between us, it's a trust uh, relationship. So it's more than being coach and athlete. Uh, we have been developing an amazing relationship with them.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to be able to do that. And when I look back and see the numbers, it's amazing. I'm super proud to be around of them.
Do you train as well?
Yeah, I'm a black belt jiu-jitsu, third degree.
Who's your sensei?
My sensei, his name is Alexandre Gonçalves. He's under Carson Grace black belt.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I received my black belt in 2007. So I started the jiu-jitsu in 1997, and yeah, I've been around the martial arts for a while.
Right. Ever fight?
Not MMA, but jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Yeah.
I fought a lot
Yeah.
back at that time. Right now, I'm just kind of doing like for fun.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned Gracie. We had the privilege last year to interview him.
Nice.
What a great guy.
Well,
Yeah.
Hoist Gracie, yeah.
Yeah.
We interviewed Hoist Gracie.
Yeah.
You know, it was amazing for him to say, you know, when he came to the United States, no one was training
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu. So he was like, you know, that was his greatest accomplishment, that they brought jiu-jitsu basically to the United States
Yeah.
and started training everybody, you know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
only where Steve and I are from, the only martial arts that was around there was Taekwondo.
Okay.
Kenpo. There was a big American Kenpo chain, Valari or whatever that guy's
Fred
name was.
Valari.
Yeah, and
Studio.
or there were some like they were in like strip malls or whatever, these little karate studios
Tiger
where there was a
Schulman.
real old yeah
Tiger
well, not Tiger
Schulman.
Schulman, like they had those started popping.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, that was nice. Nice.
And
nice day.
I'm still working with the kids. So I have 2 times a week jiu-jitsu classes that I teach. So it's crazy because this is challenge me to do different things, to be able to do different things, doing well. So I'm teaching jiu-jitsu 2 times a week for kids between 4 to 6 years old. So it's amazing inspire them actually, and to make a difference in their lives using jiu-jitsu. So yeah, it's amazing.
Wow. Well, that's great.
Yeah, seeing the little bit, and that's got to be a thrill for them also. You know, at that age, tossing their friends around, you know,
Yeah, sure.
throws or whatever and stuff. Yeah, that's really good for them.
So
Stuff, man.
we're you know, we're on Facebook as The Fighting News. We're on Instagram as The Fighting News. We're on YouTube as The Fighting News. We have a website, thefightingnews.com. And
Nice.
you know, any stories you might happen to have, just give us a call. Any breaking news that you might have, anything you'd like to share with our fans, any warm-ups of someone training. You know, I know at ATT they don't like showing, you know, people before they're gonna fight, but you know, then people might see their moves, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I know.
Let me just charge my phone because it's less than 10%. Let me just change it a little bit here, real quick. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
George
I'm
Masvidal
just
was.
charging now. Yeah.
He was
So, yeah.
training that kick. So if someone.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I honestly like. I'm kind of low profile. I don't like to try to do you know. I know the media and everything. I know it's important to show our job and to show what we've been doing, but at the same time, I understand that we are all working together, and the results speak by itself.
Yeah.
But I have many videos of the fighters training and doing what I like to do, what I choose to do as a professional. So I always trying to post here and there a few things. I like to share like the special moments when I'm around. So when I can be with the fighters, I do share some experience. Yeah, I really like to do that. And when we talk about strength training, we have so many variables we can use. We have to think about what is the best for each one, and we need to be able to change our program if we need. Example, some days the fighters don't sleep well for some reason, for some personal issues or something, and I need to adapt myself. So I have to have in my mind that their plan A, B, and sometimes C to work around. It's something that we need to mix it up, the theory, the science, and what works in the practice, and what is efficiency. So I know with the internet, the social media, a lot of people come with a new amazing strategy here and there and blah, blah, blah. So I always trying to be open to new things, but at the same time, I know I can't made any mistake, because if the fighters get tired, they can lose their performance and they can lose the fight. So I'm very serious on this. And like I said, I always try to be with the science behind of me and trying to translate the science to the practice. So example, I know how important it is to do the bench press to promote the punch power. So it's not Everton saying, it's the science that gives me the numbers, and then I need to apply to my programs. So I always trying to be very professional on this, and trying to teach the fighters how to do the work.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, they are fighters. They are not weightlifter, power lifters, or Olympic lifters. They are fighters. So yeah, it's so many different things we can share and we can talk about it that it's going to affect the performance to the positive way and to the negative way too.
Right, and you have to be in tune with all that so they're not overtraining or you know, getting all sore in a weight training session so that they can't, you know, spar the next day.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get back to
that's difficult.
We have
fans being in the audience
to be well connect with the fighters, and when I say that, it's like real connection with them, because sometimes they are going through some difficult moments on their personal lives, which can affect their performance. So it's the trust relationship we have in between coaches and fighters. And this is amazing. Like I said, I've been working with, example, Thiago Santos since 2013, Amanda Nunes since 2000. I think was end of 2013 and beginning of 2014. But and like I said, it's like a connection, and I love to do that.
Yeah, it's a great experience.
And the fact that we are all together at the same place, we are communicating each other with the coaches. So, example, today I was walking around and Conan came over me and said, like, "Hey, Everton, I need you to work in some here and there. So do your part, but I'm just trying to ask you to do this and that." So I'm always open to listen what they want for the best performance. So I can't think just by myself. I need to listen then and need to understand, like, hey, listen, we need to be better on here and there. So I know how to work, I know how to build the strategy, but I need to listen what the fighters need to perform inside the cage and not to perform in a weight room or at the track or whatever. So yeah,
right. Well, it's a real science, you know, and you're the professor.
Yeah,
and they rely on you.
Like I said, and also people don't realize how the mental training is important. I have a background in neuro-linguistic program and a mental training background, so I always try to use mental strategies with them, because they can be they can have their best technical training, they can have their best physical training, but if they are not on their best mindset for the competition day, they maybe can go in a wrong way. So we need to work around this, and like I said, the ATT is being amazing with all the variables that is involved.
Do you think anyone can beat Khabib at this day? Is there
Example,
a fighter?
I have some fighters that they text me early in the morning, sending me a print of their HRV, which is heart rate variability.
Right.
So they send to me early in the morning, so I can see, oh, okay, we are good or not. Oops, we need to step back a little bit. So this is important too.
This paper.
And that's based on how they slept the night before, also, right?
Yeah.
That the heart rate variability is going to change. Yeah.
Yeah, because
and then you have to keep track of all the people that you're working with too.
Yeah, and this is not an easy job.
That's crazy.
Like I said,
it isn't.
It's about create the right connection with them and make it happen. So sometimes we need to talk with the coaches and say, like, hey, listen, they are not they're not good for hard training right now. So let's step back a little bit. Uh, and like I said, like the coaches, they understand that, and we are working some good synergize. So synergize that the communication in between us, it's so amazing. They say like, okay, let's give them a day off, so they need to recover, and tomorrow they will come back stronger. So yeah.
Now, how do you keep track of all those variables and all that? Do you have a notebook? Do you write it all down? Do you say, hey, today Amanda's this and this, and her heart rate variability is this, or how do you keep track of all that?
Yeah,
Is it all in your head, or?
No. I have the heart rate variability. We have to use the heart monitor, and I asked them to download an app that will track this, and they have to do that by themselves, because I can't do this for them. So this is something
Right.
we need to teach them. We need to create the right mindset to do that. We need to actually ask them to do that all the time until become like just automatic habit. Also, we have load control. We have many variables that we can use, but sometimes the reality doesn't work like that, because we have so many fighters. We need to have the feeling to understand like, they are not 100% today, so let's step back a little bit, or let's give a day off, because they have the wrestling, they have jiu-jitsu, they have boxing, muay thai, strength conditioning. So, and if we think about all the training, they are physical training. Even if they go there for drills, they are fighter. So in some point they will go hard sometimes. So we need to understand that, and build the right schedule. So, and I can tell you, the ATT is doing an amazing job with all the coaches, because we always at the same page. So, example, I can't kill the guy in my training session, because I need to understand he has another training session
Right.
early in the morning.
Right.
So I can't think just as a strength conditioning coach. I need to think in a big picture. This is
So,
something for me as a professional, I believe is the most important detail we need to take from this, because it's each coach needs to understand that and work to the best performance for the fighter. And
so what does like a typical day look like? Do they do the strength training in the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, compared to when they're doing the stand up or the jujitsu? Do they have a normal schedule, or is everyone different?
we have the general schedule, and we have the individual schedule, the specific schedule. So for most of the fighters, they have their individual schedule. So some classes change and they work one-on-one. With me, I have the off-camp team that I work in the morning, and on camp I work at night, because the off-camp sometimes they don't do sparring, so I can work in the morning with them, and then at night I work with the guys there on camp. And also I have in specific cases that I work one-on-one.
Okay, but would you rather them have do the strength training before they do, like, let's say, sparring or rolling, or after they do all
No,
that?
we've been working after, and it's been working pretty well when we
Yeah.
talk about injury prevention, performance level, because uh, I know I can control a little bit more their bodies, different than the martial arts, because we know the fighters, right? So if they're gonna do the wrestling practice, right? So they are natural fighters, so they don't like to get beat up by the the team teammates. So they will
Right.
use their strength, their power to perform well. So it, it, for myself, I can control that. So if I know they had a very hard training session in the morning, I can just like adjust some variables that I have been planned and just change a little bit and keep them performing well. So I understand that as a professional, and I know when I have to step back a little bit, or even like give them day off and don't do anything, because I know they will be able to sparring to do their specific training 100%. Instead that
Right. Right.
instead that I push them hard, and the other day they are not able to perform.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, listen, it's been a real pleasure having you on here, and it's been very informative. And you certainly have a great list of clients that you've worked with in the past, and we look forward to seeing uh, your fighters succeed in the future. Man, thank you. It's been real. It's been great.
Thank
I
you so
have
much.
to thank you guys for the opportunity to talk about a little bit what we've been doing as a professional and with the team, and I can't wait to see them fighting and win and win and win. So this is
Yeah, man. That's good stuff. And if you have any stuff, you can always tag us on Instagram. We'll share it. We'll repost it. You know.
Yep.
sure for sure. I will do it. I will tell you
Yeah.
guys all the time. No worries. And we can share
Okay.
some different strategy, and I'm all open to talk about it.
All right. Good. Well, we're showing our listeners how to follow you, and you know, we will definitely we can have you on again later on in this pandemic here. You know, if we're still stuck in the house, and if
Yeah,
we're lucky enough to get out, I know we spoke a while ago about coming down there to AT&T and doing an interview in person. All right, with our photographer and all that, and we'll talk about that some more when we can get back down there because we'd love to do that.
sure. And if you guys want, uh, like I can ask some of the other coaches to join you guys and to talk about what they're doing. Even like Conan, the head coach, talk about the history and all the stuff, or the fighters too. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
we just saw
definitely.
Conan the last
I
Titan event.
I will
His
be
son was supposed
more
to.
than happy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I personally, I love talking about the history of the sport, you know, because I remember when it started, you know. So we definitely love to talk about that. But now we got to run.
Yeah,
But it's been great hearing from you. All right, it's really been a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Okay, have a good night.
Take
Be
care.
safe.
Thanks.
Okay,
Bye bye.
all right, take care,
Bye.
Coach.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So, well, that's a show. Thank you so much for our fans tuning in. The Fighting News. You can follow us on Facebook, The Fighting News, Instagram, _fighting_news, or just The Fighting News, Twitter @The Fighting News, website www.thefightingnews.com. Sign up on thefightingnews.com. Put your email address on there. We got a lot of specials. We give out a lot of shirts. We have a little contests. The last contest we had was the jump rope contest, and I think the winner of that was Roberto Duran Jr. He, just like his father, can do the jump rope and do where he does like a squat while he's jump roping, which is pretty hard to do. And we're looking forward to this UFC 249, and we're gonna go from there. So hopefully we'll see everyone soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Deuces.